I just want to thank all those new subscribers. All right. So please, guys, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. All right. So today I'm going to be talking to you some more on love and relationships. And I want to specifically speak to you on the subtopic of dating. All right. So if you're out there, you're trying to date, you're trying to make that connection, you're trying to find love, and you're having a hard time. There's some things that you might want to bear in mind. There's some things that you want to make note of. All right, so first of all, how do you look at dating? I might look at dating as just kind of data gathering. So you're getting all the information, like you're it's not like you're making a selection, but you're gathering all the information in order for you to make that selection. So it's a data gathering process. So you're on the search for one, and the process involves searching, but it also involves two, scrutinizing. So scrutiny is critical because that's when you're gonna fine tune things. You're gonna see specifically your good fit, like who you're looking for. So it's important to scrutinize, ask questions, lots of questions, if you want to be able to identify someone who actually matches or who is a good fit for you. And thirdly, you want to make that selection. That should be the last part of it. It's in the entire process. And, you're searching, you're scrutinizing, but then you're making the selection. And we want you to make the right selection at the end. So, guys, so make sure that you're doing the right things. And you have so many difficulties in relationships because people don't, they actually, they overlook the period or the stage of actually scrutinizing where they're asking those questions. So people are, they're going on dates and they're like, oh, why am I here? Like, what should I be asking? Like, it's important to do that date prep where you're actually, what you want. You should have a good picture of that before you actually make that move. Right. So, get your paper and pen out, or, make sure that you have your phone to record some things or to make notes. All right. So, there are some important date prepping tips that can help you when you're on the search, when you're doing that gathering of information. All right. So, one of the things that you have to bear in mind if you're on the search for love and connection, if you're dating, you want to know, like, what you're looking for, who you're looking for, and where you're gonna look. All right. So I know that's definitely just that's also part of the process, but very, very helpful and important. So what are you looking for? Like, are you looking for what kind of a relationship? Is it going to be a long-term relationship? Is it just a committed relationship, or is it more like a friendship? Or are you looking for, a talking buddy or something like that? You have to know, what exactly are you looking for? And everybody's perhaps looking for something a little bit different. So, may have that mental picture and record, right? Get this written down somewhere, or where you can actually see it. What am I looking for? Ask yourself that question. And then, secondly, I want you to think about, like, who am I looking for? And when, ask that question, who are you looking for? Like, that's when people start to think about, like, hey, what are some characteristics that I really want to see in, someone I'm making connection with. So the who is, it can be a lot of, things like, physical. It could be things like genuine emotional maturity, somebody who is honest, hardworking. The who you're looking for. It requires a lot of questions and specific areas that could match, what makes you happy and what makes you feel comfortable and safe. So it's good to just kind of, write that, get that down. You have to see that. Are you looking for somebody who is working, or somebody who is just kind of like they're into sports, their interest areas? It has to be a match for you. Those are some things that you have to bear in mind, and just ask those questions, and make sure that you know the answers for. You should know what you actually who you're actually looking for when it comes down to those characteristics as well. So make a note of that. And thirdly, so we talk about, like, what and who, but now we're going to talk about like where are you going to look? Because people are like, hey, I don't know where to search. I'm dating and I can't find anyone. I don't know where to look. I've searched everywhere. But, there are people who are doing a lot of dating, and I've had and heard of persons who have, they say, hey, I'm making a connection now. This is the right person for me. And it takes a lot of work with the search, the scrutiny, and then they make the selections. And one of the, areas that persons tend to do look for actually is through the dating sites and the dating apps. And sometimes again, it's a lot of scrutinizing too, because you might find persons who are not genuine, they're not authentic, they're not who they say they are. So you have to ensure that you're asking those critical questions when you get on those sites. And I've heard some persons actually say, hey, the sites are free, so we can't really get anything here. But like people who are scamming, or people who are, they're not real and things like that. But I've heard, people who actually have found meaningful connections on sites that are actually free as well. But it takes time, it takes scrutinizing. That's the key word, scrutinizing. So you have to ask questions. And, if you're going on those sites too, it might be important for you to quickly connect, make sure that you see who you're speaking to. You're actually, actually hearing a voice, of someone who is actually you're going to have to match what they're saying, and making sure that what they're saying, or who they say that they are that person. So it takes questioning as well. So, that's important. And another thing that you can actually, or place that you could think about too, if you're in any form of area, anywhere, you do have local libraries. They have social events that are happening around you in your community as well. So it might limit you somewhat, because if it's in your area too, sometimes you want to extend yourself out of your comfort zone. It makes the search wider. But you could actually start there, because you're going to get out, start socializing, start making connections, see who you're speaking to. It makes the process a little bit safer and easier for you when you start that very early, and go into safe spaces. Make sure that you're entering safe spaces with persons who you're connecting with, and you know someone. You're making sure that you're going into a public area to have those dates when you actually make that selection after scrutiny. Okay. All right. So so many persons actually, they do the scrutinizing after they've made the selection, but we want to do we want to do it a little bit different. So you want to scrutinize and then you select, because people are like on dates and they're like, oh, this is when they're going to be actually searching or asking the questions. But we want to try to make sure that we're doing the difficult work before, and then we finally make that connection and selection. All right. So and there's another site that you could also take a look on. You have meetup.com. They have so many social events for friendships and for relationships, and just genuine connections too. And it's also based on your interest area. So if you like things like art and music and sports, you could certainly find activities. And it makes connections really really good too, because you'll find someone who has those interest areas that you have. So it's great to kind of do the hard work and just kind of get out there and do what you need to do if you're doing some serious dating work or search. All right. So remember now. So if you're going to be doing some dating work, you're going to have to do your search. You're going to have to scrutinize, ask those difficult questions, and then you select. And then have a mental picture. All right. So you have a mental picture, and you also make a note of where you can actually see this, whether on your phone or you write it down somewhere. But you have to have that picture of, what are you looking for? What kind of relationship are you looking for? And then secondly, you're going to think about like, what are all the characteristics that you need to find in that special relationship or connection? What are you looking for? And lastly, you're going to think about like places. Where am I going to do that search? And there's so many different places that can, or sites that can be helpful in guiding you into that, search as well. So, it's kind of, so I want you to just kind of make a note of all of those important dating tips. And I'm going to end with an affirmation, and so I want you to think about your worth. You are definitely worthy of what? Connection. You're worthy of happiness. So I want you to just tell yourself, I'm worthy of happiness and connection. I'm worthy of happiness and connection. All right. So this is a wrap. So see you next time.